Namaste and welcome everyone. Happy to see you again. Welcome to this Q&A follow-up with Balakhilya. My name is Ruben and I'm representing Trondheim Meditation and Yoga. Happy that you took the time to spend this Saturday with us. So Balakhilya has received quite a few questions and he will answer them for you. And I would just like to I see Balakhilya is here as well, so I would like to invite Balakhilya to speak. Thank you very much, Balakhilya, for spending your time with us.
Thank you very much, Ruben, for inviting me. And I thank all the questions, all the people who sent the questions in. Thank you very much. So I guess we'll begin with the Garunga breathing meditation, just to settle everything down and make it so, we can understand the presentation a little more clearly. And also, in case you don't know how to do Garunga meditation, you get to learn it. And if you already know how, it'll just give you another chance to practice. So, and again, just for someone who may not know how, I'm going to briefly describe what we're doing. But before I go any further, I'd like to offer my respects to my spiritual masters, Siddha Swarupananda Paramahamsa and Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami. And I speak from the platform of Bhakti Yoga. They are Bhakti Yoga masters. And so meditation in Bhakti Yoga is, of course, one of the main activities. And we do the very easy type of meditation known as mantra meditation. And mantras are transcendental sounds. That means spiritual sounds. They come from the spiritual world into the material world. And they bring with them great spiritual power. So when we contact this transcendental sound vibration, we get great spiritual benefit. The mantra for tonight is Garunga. Dividing Garunga into 4 syllables, Go-ra-ang-ga. The technique is, first, we inhale through the nose, slowly, gently, but very deeply. Take the air all the way down to your lower abdomen. And as we inhale, silently in the mind, chant Go-ra-ang-ga in a very gentle and soft way, almost like a mental whisper. And when the body fills with air, we will begin to exhale. And then out loud, we will chant Go-ra-ang-ga. And then we'll repeat. So before we begin the meditation, we want to relax. To help us to relax, we're going to take in a big breath and let it back out through the nose. Let all your anxiety, tension, frustration, fear go away with the breath. Then, while we do the meditation, we want to listen very closely to the sound, put the mind on the sound. In other words, meditate on the sound. Now you know the mantra, so I suggest you close your eyes to prevent distraction and help you to relax more deeply. When we finish, just sit quietly for a few moments, eyes remaining closed, and feel that internal peace and calm, that stillness. That was the result of the meditation. All right, just follow my guidance. Everybody take a big breath, let it out, and relax. Now very slowly, gently and deeply inhale and chant Garunga in the mind. Garunga. 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 2 more times. Haribol. All right, so you can see this is a very easy meditation to do and also very relaxing. You can do it as long as you want. That was a quite short session, 20, 30 minutes or more. And you just really get absorbed in the mantras. Very, very nice. See, if you're out in nature, amazing place. Just sit down on a log or sit down on a grassy place or by a stream and just do Garunga meditation for a while. Forget about time. Everybody's so concerned with time all the time. We're concerned about time all the time. Time controls us so much, but if you've got a block of time, and in that block of time, you can just forget about time and just sit down and do the meditation and, think about some of these ideas that we present and so on. It's going to make a big difference in your life. All right, Ruben, I am ready for the questions.
Let's go. Thank you. So the first question is writing to us. Thank you to you. Thank you very much for this wonderful eye-opening lecture about forgiveness. Sometimes I feel generally angry at the situation I find myself in, but that's not specifically related to a person. I understand that my life's situation is a consequence of my choices in life and external circumstances, but it's still difficult to let go of this anger. How to solve this problem?
When it comes to really solving problems, we've got to change our internal world. We can try to think our way through the problem and try to not be angry and whatever, we know it's wrong, and that's not really going to solve the problem. It might work sometimes it doesn't, but when it doesn't work, you're angry because it didn't work. So what our method is completely different. Through this process of Bhakti Yoga, centered around the hearing and chanting of these transcendental sounds, these names of the Lord, that purifies us of all of these things that make it so We do make the wrong choices. We are angry because we make the wrong choice. We're not happy inside. Even if you make the right choice and you're still not happy inside, you're angry because you're not happy. If we're not happy, we're dissatisfied. We're just not having a good day. You see, I don't care what you're doing externally. If you're not happy inside, if you're not satisfied inside, you're not having a good day. And so we take it out. This is the internal problem, and we take it out on other people. We take it out on ourselves. We take it out on nature. You know, we're angry because it's raining today and we had plans, whatever. You see, it's just an ongoing symptom of the underlying problem. So until we change our hearts so we are satisfied, nothing's going to work, really, you know. So that's the method that works. This is bhakti yoga. Take this activity into your life on a regular basis, and it doesn't happen in 2 minutes or 2 days or 2 months or 2 years or whatever. See, it's not an instant thing. Remember, we've spent unlimited lifetimes creating this dark environment inside. Unlimited lifetimes. And we want it to all go away within days or weeks or months or years. Come on. You know, it will go away. It will be replaced with happiness, satisfaction, love, peace, harmony, because you have cultivated this long lost relationship with the Supreme Lord. And that's your natural condition. And in your natural condition, you're not angry. I don't care what happens. You make a wrong choice and it goes weird, you're still not angry. You just go, wow, I shouldn't have done that, you know. I'm getting what I deserve, but hey, you know, I'm okay with that. I learned something and I'll try to make a different choice. And the more information we have about the truth about life, the more we will make the right choice and the less we'll make the wrong choice. And that's a good thing too. You see, right up until the time of death, you can make the right choice at the moment of death. Can you imagine? See, people don't even understand any of this stuff. Right up to the time of death, if you have this knowledge, you've cultivated this lifestyle, this relationship with the Supreme, you're satisfied inside, death is just another event. It's just another day in a life. And you make the right choice, and that is to hear these mantras, to focus on the Supreme Lord. You already have the relationship. You can do that. And you just transfer to the next world, which if we've really got it together, see, that's the spiritual world. And even if we somehow don't quite reach the spiritual world, we'll take such a good birth in our next life that we can easily continue the task. See? So this is the solution, you know. And any other thing that anybody might tell you, even if it works a little bit or works sometime or works a lot of the time, it's still not the complete real solution. Okay, good question. Thank you very much.
Okay, so another person is asking, I want to forgive and grow. Forgiving a person who has done you wrong is easier when you never see them again. But how do you forgive a person in your family that is repeatedly doing you wrong? Forgiving a person once or twice or a few times seems easy. But how do I keep on forgiving while I know that I will be exposed to this person's unfairness again?
Yeah, that makes things more difficult for sure. You know, we live in this world that is so difficult. And the relationships are what make the world really difficult, you know. And, you know, sometimes if you can just change that situation so you're not exposed to this ongoing incorrect, conduct toward you, if it's really like that, good. But if you can't, you just have to also develop, along with this forgiveness attitude, tolerance and patience. See, these are spiritual virtues that if you cultivate these virtues, you basically become immune to all these things that are so difficult now. My spiritual master gave the example of water on a duck's back. We've all seen water on a duck's back, at least in a picture. Some people never even seen a duck. We're so bound to cities, and so somebody may never even seen a duck. But anyway, if you put water on a duck's back, it just rolls off. It's just gone. It doesn't even touch the duck. So my spiritual master says we have to become like that. So this thing happens, another thing happens, quack, it just runs off. You go through life in that way, and it doesn't matter who or what happens, you're okay with it, But to do that, you've got to create this internal world, which I just explained to the person who asked the last question. All of these things are completely connected. The external will reflect the internal. If I'm vulnerable, if I'm weak, if I'm angry, if I'm, despondent, whatever, if I'm impatient, if I'm intolerant, inside, that's going to manifest outside. So when this person does me wrong again and again and again, you see, eventually my forgiveness is going to be overridden by resistance and anger and, pushback, you see. But if we have this amazing transformation inside, then you can just deal with it like that duck, you just got to think like that. Quack, quack, Well, maybe don't quack at the person in their face, because that might make them even more angry. You see, it's an internal quack. Mm-hmm. Yeah, these are the solutions. And the more you chant the mantras, and if you can not only chant the mantras, but add other practices of this bhakti yoga process to your life, you're going to become more and more immune, I will say. That's a word that actually kind of graphically describes it. You're immune to all these onslaughts of the material world, whether it's, in your family or at your work or, wherever it is. Then you're okay, If you're immune and you go where there's somebody that's got disease, you don't get sick because you're immune, right? Everybody gets sick. You don't get sick. So we want to be really healthy in the heart. And again, do the best you can. But if you practice this, gradually you'll be able to do better and better and better until, like, hey, I'm okay. All right. Next question.
This person writes, let's see here. My father is the sweetest and most kind person, but I can see that he is carrying a lot of anger inside, even though he is not aware of it himself. His brother basically took the house after their parents died, and my father never forgave him. When I say that everything should be forgiven, he says, quote, "But there are limits. This is unforgivable," unquote. How is it possible for such a person to get closer to being able to forgive?
Same answer. It's like I keep trying to impress upon people. This is not a mental adjustment. This is a change inside. When my spiritual master, Siddha Sarupananda Paramahamsa, gave us a solution to this inability to forgive, he said, all right, I want you to listen to this mantra. And it was Haribo Nitai Gaur Haribo. So I don't remember. What was it? Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana, whatever. It doesn't matter. All mantras are the same in the sense that they all have this amazing potency. Good. But
Chaitanya Nityananda Gaur Hari.
Chaitanya Nityananda Gaur Hari. That's what it was. Chaitanya Nityananda Gaur Hari. Anyway, he said, listen to this mantra and then put your hand on your heart. Think about all those people that you have never forgiven. Deep in, it could have been when you were a child, whatever. You may have even forgotten about it, but it's still in there. Go deep, sort it all out, recognize all of that, and then let the mantras and Lord Gauranga, Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, let them enter into that realm of darkness, this anger, this non-forgiving thing, and let them change it. You see, we have the power to do that. They have the power to change our hearts. You see, so in this way, a person can be successful. Now, your father, he's probably not interested in any of these real solutions. See, he's basically made a declaration, there's limits, I will never forgive my brother. I mean, he's probably so firm in this stance that this is unforgivable. He took my house. See, maybe it was supposed to be half mine and half his. I don't know the story. But so many people have lifetime issues with relatives over houses, apartments, inheritance money, whatever it is. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Of course it's not worth it. But it's mine. I didn't get my fair share. See? Come on, give it up. You get it or you don't get it at the time of death, you're not going to have it anyway. So at the time of death, you're not attached to the house that your brother is attached to, and he'll get stuck in that house as a ghost. And you don't have the house, so you're not attached. You see, I mean, this is extreme, but it's real. This is how it works. We get so attached to these material things, which is so temporary. And the world's full of people with houses. And they're not happy because they got houses, big houses, mansions, billion-dollar homes, you know? And they're not happy either. That's not going to make anybody happy, you see. I've seen it in so many families where a person holds this anger against a family member until they die. And they just won't let it go. And who's the victim here? Who gets the punishment from all this? Who is the one who suffers? See? The one who can't give it up. So I don't know how receptive your father is to any of these truths, but these are truths. And if a person is not willing to hear the truth, then there's really nothing you can do. If somehow you can arrange it so your father hears the mantras, you don't even talk about forgiveness maybe. He just hears the mantras. They are going to have an effect. Maybe it's not an effect that you'll ever see, but it's an effect that's eternal, it's taken place, and he will benefit from that, you know, for sure. And who knows, maybe it'll soften his heart to the point where he can actually reconcile all this with his brother. You know, I don't know. But we've got to work on ourselves, and as we change ourselves, we can more readily see how to help those other people who need help. See, because we know what helped us, and we can relate to what we had to go through and help them go through changes as well. Every person that makes advancement is now in a better position to help other people make advancement. Whereas before you had the same problem from another angle, maybe. So, yeah, good luck. Never give up. Be loving, be kind to your father. And that can go a long way to making them so they're more receptive to what you have to say. Okay.
This person also asks on the same topic, why should a person forgive everything? Isn't there something that is unforgivable?
In a lot of people's minds, there's a lot of things that are unforgivable. But really, you know what? Now we're talking about things that people did to us. So I gave the example during the lecture of Lord Jesus Christ. I mean, everything that was done to him was unforgivable on one level. But for him, it was completely forgivable, you see. And we have in our Vedic history other great saintly personalities, you see, that had this pure heart, this pure love and forgiveness readily available. They were so mistreated, so persecuted, so wronged, and they just forgave the people who were their persecutors, even feeling sorry for putting them through the trouble of abusing them. Oh, please forgive me that you had to do all this. You see? Unbelievable. So, to a pure heart, nothing is unforgivable.
Is it so that one can forgive someone even though that person didn't ask for forgiveness?
Repeat that again.
Is it so that one can forgive someone even though that person didn't ask for forgiveness?
Of course, of course. Most of the time people don't ask forgiveness. See, forgiveness is not like, okay, I can forgive you because you asked me to forgive you. See, no, forgiveness is, I forgive you. You ask, you don't ask. Most of the people that do whatever they do to us, that we have to forgive them for their actions, they may think they're right. They don't even think they're wrong. They may think they're justified completely in doing whatever they do toward you. See, but you forgive them. See. So sometimes people will say, oh, please forgive me. But really, if you're in the right condition, you've already forgiven them. They say, please forgive me. And it's already been done. You're late, my friend. I already did that. You see. But you say, yes, of course. No problem. I already did forgive you. But these levels of forgiveness that I'm talking about are higher levels of consciousness that makes it real. It makes it possible. But we have to want to do that, and we have to do as much as we can from where we are. So if I can forgive a little bit from where I am now, I should do that. And like I just explained a few moments ago, these mantras, we have to take the mantras. They're no different than the Supreme Lord. Take them inside and let them make it possible for me to do these things. I can't do it on my own. You see? No one of us can do it on our own. Why are these great saintly personalities able to do it? Because they have that loving relationship with the Lord. See, it's not because they're just unique people. They're like us, but they're just very unique. They're bigger than I am, or they're, more merciful or whatever. They have that relationship. Therefore, out of that relationship of love comes forgiveness. See? So we're working toward the ultimate solution here. And along the way, yes, do the best you can. I'm not in any way saying don't forgive because you're not pure. Forgive and forgive and forgive again. And if you forgive 10%, that's 10% better than not forgiving at all. Do the best you can. Work with that. But at the same time, work with the whole purification process. Makes it so you're coming to the point where it's automatic.
You let me know if we've covered this already, but the person also asks, I really want to and try to forgive, but it's not easy. And sometimes it seems that the forgiveness disappears again. So how can I actually forgive someone so that it's real and lasting?
Yeah, same answer. Yeah, it disappeared because it wasn't complete. See, it wasn't that unconditional forgiveness. This is one point. Unconditional forgiveness is very different than conditional forgiveness. See, conditional forgiveness is, okay, if you quit doing this, or you promise never to do something again, I'll forgive you. But if you do it again, then I'm not going to forgive you. See, this is conditional. All these conditions are part of the forgiving. But real forgiveness is unconditional. I forgive you and I forgive. Look at God. God is, He's the Father of all of us. And He is the source of forgiveness. He is forgiveness personified unlimitedly, unconditional forgiveness in every way. He has every reason not to forgive any of us. I mean, look what we're doing. Look what we're doing to His planet. Look what we're doing to His children. Look what we're doing to our own selves. Look what we're doing, completely crazy things that, should we be forgiven? And we do it again and again and again and again, lifetime after lifetime. And He forgives, and He forgives, and He forgives, and He forgives, and He forgives. Let me see. That is unconditional forgiveness. We shouldn't even be on this planet if the landlord was the normal landlord, and you were acting like, or we as a human race were acting like we do. He should kick us all out. Get out of here. But He doesn't. He forgives us and tries to help us and encourages us and sends His representatives and tries to, help us from within, and all the ways that He's showing His love for us unconditionally, forgiving us again and again.
Okay, so we have a couple of questions on, of course, related, but a little bit other topics. So one person says, why are we many times faint-hearted and do things to please or do not hurt others, but we do really feel like not being honest with ourselves, like not having courage to be ourselves?
Is that it?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. If we were really ourself, our real self, we would always be, able to display our true nature. It wouldn't hurt others. It would, make it so our relationships were compatible, harmonious, and so on and so on. And we'd be true to ourselves because we would be on these levels of love and compassion and mercy and so on. But when we're not on those levels, then we're playing the game. I say what a person wants to hear, but I really don't want to say it, but I say it because, I know it'll make them feel good or won't hurt their feelings or whatever. You see, so until we're in these higher levels of consciousness, and consciousness is a symptom of the soul, and the soul is in the heart. So we're always talking about the hard heart and the soft heart and the pure heart and on and on and on. And until we're in these higher levels, then, we're always going to play somebody's game. Whether we play the hard guy game and don't listen to anybody and just don't care how I make other people feel, you see. But that doesn't make me feel good either, see. Or I do play the game and I'm soft and gentle and when I don't really want to be, or I let them control me and so on. See, and I don't like that either. So I'm always in an unfavorable situation. No matter which way I go, it's an unfavorable situation. How do you be strong? I've already said this so many times. Strength comes from the Lord. It doesn't come from us. We're weak. And until we realize our own weakness, we're not going to actually even be able to receive the real strength because we think we're strong. See, and people think that anger, we read it in Maharaj Yudhisthira's explanation of anger. Some people see anger as strength. They misinterpret anger as strength. So we think if I'm Mr. Tough Guy, I'm not going to let anybody tell me what to do. I'm running around with this basically head full of and heart full of arrogance. My attitude is really just aggressive and so on. That's anger, but it seems like I'm strong. I'm a strong guy. Nobody can stop me. Nobody can tell me what to do. Get out of my way. And so, but it's not strength. It's anger, and it's so destructive. Anger is the most destructive force of all. Maharaj Yudhisthira, anger destroys mankind. So this is what the game you're going to play. You're going to play the weak mouse who just runs around like a little mouse and never says anything, but always feels, the victim and persecuted and, people are taking advantage of me and, I'm just too weak. Or you're going to be on the other scale. I'm arrogant, I'm strong, shut up, nobody can tell me what to do, or somewhere in between. And all of these positions are unfavorable positions to be in. So let's work from the ground up. Let's start where we need to start. And that is take this process of bhakti yoga seriously, add it to your life. And if you're an angry person, you're still going to get angry. It's not going to just make you an angel with wings in a couple of weeks. See? But gradually you're working on it and you start recognizing it more and it becomes more distasteful. See, a lot of people, the taste of anger is sweet. Like I say, they feel just like, yeah, I'm strong. They like to talk like that and just tough guys, and it can be in women's bodies too, not just men. It can go either way. But gradually, as we purify more and more, that becomes distasteful. We don't like it. Before it was what I wanted. Now I don't like that. And what's distasteful, we try to get away from, you see. And when it occurs, we don't like it. See, that's a good thing. That's moving in the right direction. And so just more and more focus on the process and less focus on the problems. This is another issue. Most people focus on the problem and not the solution. You can't solve the problem by focusing on the problem. You solve the problem by focusing on the solution. You see, then the problem goes away. So that's another change of vision that we have to have. Quit focusing on the problem and focus on the solution. And I'm trying to encourage you to see that the solution really is in this process of Bhakti Yoga, because that is where all these amazing transformations come that I've been referring to. Okay.
So we have another question in relationship to relating to others. This person says, my question is about having healthy boundaries. I understand that this
having healthy boundaries.
Boundaries. Healthy boundaries.
Okay.
I understand that this is a sensitive subject for many people. I am an older adult, and during the course of my life, I have been dealing with public quite often. I have come to realize more and more that many people don't have clear boundaries when dealing with other people, whether they admit it or not. When it comes to having, quote, free will in serving God, what is the expectation in relation to having boundaries with other people? And is it fair to consider people who have not yet managed to have such boundaries to be immature? I ask this because there are some people out there who do have clear boundaries when dealing with other people. Thank you, and Haripam.
I ask this because there are some people who do have boundaries.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you're really trying to reconnect with the Supreme Person, the Lord Himself, then you're going to want to know what He says we should do, how we should act. Scriptures, especially our Vedic scriptures, are filled with information on how we should be, what our boundaries should be, how we should see others, how we should relate to others, And so the more we incorporate those teachings into our everyday life, then the more correct our activities will be. People should be allowed to go to church, whether they're, in this condition or that condition, because that is where they can actually come in contact with what can really help them. And, we kind of often refer to people who come to our process. And they come from all walks of life, and they come from all different age groups and educational backgrounds and racial backgrounds and cultural backgrounds, an unbelievable mix of people. See, and they come and they begin to engage in this process. See, under the guidance of our spiritual master. And somebody may come, a new person, into, this assembly of people. And when I say assembly, I mean it's a worldwide thing. We're not all together all the time, but they come around people who are doing this, and they hear the philosophy, and it's very high level, philosophy of love and mercy and care and all those spiritual teachings. And they see people who aren't acting like that. They see this guy's, displaying some anger toward another person who's also doing, this process. Oh, well, he's angry, or, he's not completely honest, or and they start judging the process and say, well, what are you guys talking about? You're talking about all these high ideals and how everybody's going to, be happy and harmonious and go above anger and forgive and all these things. But I'm witnessing the opposite of that. I'm witnessing many things that I see just everybody else doing in the world. So what's the deal? Or maybe they just walk away. They say, well, these guys are just hypocrites. They're saying one thing and doing another. See? But what we have to realize is, this is like a hospital. And people who come to this hospital come because they understand they're sick and they need help. They need treatment. Now, if you go into a hospital, a regular, just hospital, you go through the different wards and look in the different rooms, and you're going to see all kinds of people in all kinds of different levels of physical problems. Some guys have got broken legs, some guys are being treated for cardiac problems, and some people are having issues because of diabetes, and some people are having another problem, and you just think, well, wait a minute, I thought these people in here came here to get well, but that guy's sick and this guy's sick and this guy's I don't understand. This hospital's a fake. It doesn't even work. You see, they're in the hospital to get well, but it doesn't mean they're well yet. You see, it might take some time. To have a serious problem, it's going to take even longer. You see, it's not the problem with the hospital that you're seeing. It's that they're getting cured at their rate, at their pace, according to their condition. The doctor's prescribing one thing for this one, another thing for that one. You see, but they're all trying to get better. That's the point. So when people come to this process, we're not expecting anybody to be perfect, and there's going to be a lot of things that need work, So don't judge the process by the people who aren't well yet, but we're all trying to work on our sickness and get well. So these people should be allowed to do that, And if you have boundaries, then you should, and I'm not sure exactly what you mean with boundaries. You don't say too much, or you don't say offensive things, or I'm not sure you're careful how you treat the other person and so on. I'm just assuming this is what you're referring to. That means you're thinking about the other person, and you're, caring about how your actions are going to affect the other person. That's a good thing. But if somebody doesn't have that, and you say you're in an elderly body, so am I. And I remember when I grew up, and I'm sure you do too, we were taught those things. I mean, that was just common education in the home. And it came from the church, and it came from, the way to live. This is good, this is bad. You should act like this, you should treat people like this, and it's all spiritually based stuff, But now all that base is gone. So people don't have that anymore, unfortunately. So who's got boundaries? And if there's boundaries, people say you should tear the boundaries down and let people just do whatever they want to do. And that's what's going on. And is it making society better? Absolutely not. Society's in the worst condition that it's been in, in recent history, and it's not getting better because there are no boundaries. Parents don't teach kids boundaries. We used to be taught respect. Now, the kids are basically taught through, various ways, through the media and social medias and peer groups and, whatever, that it's cool to be disrespectful. If you're respectful, you're weird, We respected parents. We respected elderly people. We respected police. We respected, and they, in turn, tried to act to be worthy of our respect. It kind of went both ways. We respected them, and they acted respectful toward us, and they were qualified to receive our respect. All that's been thrown away, you see. And now it's cool to be disrespectful, And the higher the person is in a position that should be respected, the more we disrespect that. And that's really advanced. It's gone so far in the wrong direction, and people just, they don't even know how to start solving the problem. And and they come up with these huge social problems, and they don't even know what caused that problem. It's basic foundational how to live your life in the proper way, you know, be a good person, and that's including a lot of things. You know, it's interesting. You know, I'm probably running over. Have we got more questions?
Perhaps one question, if
Anyway, I'm not finished yet. I just want to know for time-wise. Anyway, it's interesting. Here's an example of something that kind of what I'm talking about. In Albuquerque, New Mexico, which is in America, the biggest city in New Mexico, there was a 19-year-old boy, Hispanic, and he had been raised in in general, the Hispanic people, they follow Catholic teaching, but it's teachings of the Bible. It's just, you know, Christianity, one form of Christianity. And Jesus is kind of the founder of this whole, you know, philosophy and teaching and his example and so on. So anyway, he had been raised in this environment basically by his grandmother. He was 19, remember this. And so he went to the ATM machine to get some money to pay somebody some money he owed them. See, paying his debts, right? He had needed to pay something. So he went to get this money. It was on a Sunday. And he looked down and he saw a plastic bag on the ground. And he picked up the bag and it was full of money. And to make a long story short, and it was a lot of money. I mean, it wasn't just like a little bit of money, it was a lot of money. Immediately, he thought of what his grandmother told him. Never take that which is not yours. Be honest. Don't steal. Actually do the right thing. So what did he do? He immediately went. He didn't go anywhere. He's got his phone right there. You don't go to the phone. That's my era. Oh, you go to the phone and call somebody. No, your phone is married to you. Anyway, he called the police and told them that he had found this money. And they came and took the money and took him. And they went and they counted the money, and it was $135,000 that he found. He could have just put that money in his pocket and disappeared, and he'd probably never see $135,000 in his life, you know. But he did the right thing. And he was, you know, feeling so good about it. And the police, and then of course, it you know, went viral, and it just, you know, everybody quickly learned about it. And people couldn't even believe he did that, you know. And the police were so impressed. I think they gave him $500 or $1,000 or something, and a new car, I think, and just to, you know, to kind of reward him for just being who his grandmother taught him to be. This is my point, you know. Well, how many grandmothers are teaching the kids that, and how many kids are allowing the grandmother to have that much influence in their life? And basically very, very few. Now, this person who did this for the rest of his life will feel good that he did that. You see? It shows a character, it shows a certain condition that he is going to be rewarded for, not just the new car and the $1,000 or whatever he got. He's going to be rewarded on a very deep level for that. See, and this is what's missing today. You know, so boundaries should come from God. Boundaries should come from teachings of truth, not fabricated boundaries, and not boundaries that are trendy now and thrown away later. Real boundaries. And then find within that boundaries respect and care and concern and honesty and all types of. This is the world that's we don't know now. We don't know that world anymore. See. So anyway, okay, Ruben, you say you got one more?
Yeah, going back to the hospital.
To the hospital.
The way what you described
Okay,
before.
let's go back to the hospital.
Sometimes a sick person, basically the question is how to develop the determination to become well. Sometimes it seems that there is a certain taste in being sick, or that maybe you don't really, in a sense, want to get out of your condition. So how to develop the determination to get well, and where does that taste come from being sick?
You know, association with people who are well or very determined to get well. This will encourage you to not just loll in your misery and in your, anger and whatever your sickness is, but to actually get out of that, go to a higher level of health. So if you're associating with people who are promoting this, who are doing it themselves, who are examples of the fruit of this activity, then that's going to encourage you. But if you just go off by yourself and hang around with a bunch of other sick people, sickness becomes normal. You don't even recognize you're sick many times. You say, I'm okay, because you're like everybody else. So we need these higher, let's just say people on higher levels of understanding, the doctors and the nurses and the people who have become well, and they're there for us and they're there to help us, like the nurse's job in the hospital. One of the things that their job is to make sure we take the medicine, come in and encourage us, and don't let us fall into the despondency and the depression. Oh, I'm so sick. Oh, no, you're getting better. Oh, you're looking good today. Oh, here, take your medicine. Let's go for a walk. Come on, I don't want to go for a walk. Get out of bed. We're going to go out and get some sun. We go real slow. We'll go at your speed. That's the nurse's job, because she wants you to get well, And so if we're hanging around with people, we're associating with people who are like that, they're going to help us, But if we're hanging around with everybody else that's moaning and groaning, then we'll just moan and groan too and go nowhere.
All right, thank you very much. I think that's the last question that we have time
Yeah.
for.
Yeah, let's have a little Sankirtan. Because we can talk philosophy all day long, but unless we take the medicine, it's just philosophy. So we're going to now chant with music. I'll play a guitar. And this is, we can call it singing the mantras. And congregationally, when we come together and do this, it's called Sankirtan. And because you know the mantra Garunga, we're going to use that mantra. And we're going to add one more mantra, Hari Bol. And I'll just chant either Garunga or Hari Bol or a combination. All you have to do is listen. So I chant while everyone listens, and then we have a couple of people here that'll be chanting with me. These are my friends at the Guru Chintamani studio. Oh, they're starting to appear now. Yeah, these are my Chintamani choir, so to speak. We have a lot of fun together. So they're going to respond to what I chant, and you chant with them. This is the point. And just try to relax and meditate on the mantras. Garunga. Everybody. Goranga. Goranga. Haribo, Nitaigo, Nitaigo, Haribo. Haribo, Nitaigo, Nitaigo, Haribo. The mantra's Nitaigor. Haribo, Nitaigor, Nitaigor, Haribo. Haribo, Nitaigor, Nitaigor, Haribo. Hey. Haribo, Nitaigor, Nitaigor, Haribo. Haribo, Nitaigor, Nitaigor, Haribo. Goranga Haribo, Goranga 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 Haribo. Goranga Haribo. Goranga, Goranga Haribo, hey. Goranga, Goranga Haribo. 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 Haribo, Goranga. 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 Goranga. Haribo. 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 Goranga Haribo. Goranga Haribo. Hey. Goranga Haribo. Goranga Haribo. Goranga Haribo. Goranga Haribo. Goranga Haribo. Goranga Haribo. All right, so that's our question and answer period for today.
Thank you very much, Balakhilya.
Thank you very much, Ruben. And good questions. Very good questions. Thank you for thinking like this. And if anything you've heard or experienced helps you, wonderful. And we're back next week, right?
Yeah, next Sunday, actually. Yeah.
All right.
With yoga, health, and yoga lifestyle for health and harmony.
Okay. Very good. Next Sunday
Yes,
or Saturday?
Sunday. We have International Yoga Day
Okay.
next
So
Sunday.
we better tell Poland to. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, International Yoga Day. That's a wonderful thing. So join us next Sunday and we'll talk about yoga.
Thank you very much, Balakhilya.
All right. Thank you, Ruben. Thank you, Christian, for your tech work. Thank you, Slava, for your tech work. You know, you got to give the technicians some recognition or they might quit.
He's laughing in the background.
They're always behind the scenes pulling all the strings and getting no credit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we thank them. We thank our Chintamani choir for their beautiful voices. And yeah, we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Very nice.
All right. Namaste. Haribo.
Haribo. Right. So thank you very much for joining, everyone. Like Balakhilya said, next week, new chance on Sunday. And if the current situation changes, then if you are in Norway, we are a group of meditation schools in Oslo, Tromsø, and Trondheim cooperating. So you can also meet us personally, hopefully soon, as well as the UK. So yeah, if you have any questions whatsoever, anything we can help with, we are more than happy to do so. And yes, so feel free to write us and contact us. So see you in a week's time. Namaste.